everyone, this video is about Pitt and Fisher sealants. Before moving on to Pitt and Fisher sealants, it is very important to know the difference between pits and fissures. It is nothing but a small pinpoint depression which is located at the junction of developmental grooves or at the terminals of such grooves. Whereas fissures are long clefts present between the cusp or the ridges. Now let us see about Pitt and Fisher sealant. Pitt and Fisher sealant is a chemically active liquid material which is introduced onto the occlusal pits and fissures of a caries susceptible tooth. After application, it either cures chemically, in other words, it is autopolymerized, or is cured with a visible light, that is light cure, which forms a micromechanically bonded protective layer that prevents the invasion of caries producing bacteria. Let me tell you a brief history about Pitt and Fisher sealant. Earlier in 1923, a person named Hayat, he introduced a technique called prophylactic odontotomy. It's an approach which involves preparation of cavity on a tooth structure, which is a sound tooth structure, and then filling them with a subsequent restorative material. Later on, in 1955, a person named Bunocore, he introduced acid etching technique. In 1962, Dr. Ray Bowen introduced a new composite resin material. It's a combination of a resin and a filler particle. The resin material consists of bis-GMA, that is bisphenol A glycidyl methacrylate, and the filler agent is mostly silica. Later in 1974, GIC was introduced by McLean and Wilson. This particular GIC, it contains fluoride, hence it releases fluoride, and due to that property, it prevents caries. That concludes our history part. There are various types of pits and fissures. Now let's see the different types of pits and fissures. We have 5 types of pit and fissures. The first one is U type, and then we have V type, I type, IK type, and inverted Y type. U type is shallow and wide. They are self-cleansing and they are more resistant to caries. Usually we recommend non-invasive techniques for this particular type of pit and fissure. Similar to U type, for V type also we recommend non-invasive technique since it is caries resistant because it is wide at the top and narrow at the bottom. Both U and V are different, but it requires similar procedures. I type is deep, narrow and quite constricted at the bottom, and it resembles a bottleneck appearance. It is more susceptible to caries, hence it requires only invasive procedures. IK type is a slit which has a large shape at the bottom, and it is very susceptible to caries, and hence it requires invasive technique. Inverted Y type, they are broad or narrow funnels. It resembles a constricted hourglass appearance. It is usually very irregularly shaped. To be clear, U and V type fissures are usually wide, hence it is caries resistant and it requires non-invasive techniques. Whereas if we take I type, inverted Y type and IK type, they are mostly constricted and hence it is more prone to caries and it requires only invasive techniques. So far we have seen about the introduction of Pitt and Fisher sealants, the history and the types of Pitt and Fisher sealants. Now let's see about the indications and contraindications of Pitt and Fisher sealants. It is indicated for pits and fissures of deciduous teeth in children and permanent teeth in children and adolescents who is at increased risk of experiencing caries. Indicated for incipient lesions as well as Pitt and fissures which is deep and very narrow, which is more prone to caries, and it is indicated for stained pits and fissures also. individuals, both deciduous and permanent teeth, who are systemically compromised. And then it is indicated when there is no evidence of radiographical or clinical appearance of interproximal caries which needs restoration. And pit and fissure sealants is ideal only when there is a possibility of proper isolation without salivary contamination. So we have seen about the indications of pit and fissure sealants. I will tell you about the contraindications of pit and fissure sealants. It is contraindicated for those patients who does not exhibit any risk factor or is at increased risk of experiencing caries. It is also contraindicated when the pit and fissures are well coalesced and self-cleansable. And another thing, it is contraindicated when there is a lower life expectancy of primary tooth, and when there is clinical or radiographic evidence of interproximal caries, and when there is the presence of many interproximal lesions, pit and fissure sealant is usually contraindicated. There is no possibility of proper isolation, and if there is an increased salivary contamination, it is very difficult to use pit and fissure sealant, hence it is contraindicated.